New mixes or mood music? I need a theme. Theme music.
I debated on how to do the visuals for this piece. Trying to evade copyright, I thought of doing pictures from the movie or showing the trailer with me on screen, where I just mostly drag the time bar to different still scenes. Both techniques that have allowed me to evade copyright in the past, as opposed to what I'm doing here instead, which is to just let the trailer play in the background as I speak over the movie. But I decided to go in this way because, as I noted in my Instagram review, this movie is wonderfully shot, and the city being shot, the city of New York, is a character in the film itself. So the view of these moving images from the film needs to be seen in this review, as the visual plays such an intrinsic role in the film. I'm Lion Runner with reviews and revisits on YouTube and Instagram. That's reviews underscore and underscore revisits on Instagram. Like, subscribe, and notification bell coming through the door, as those interactions are so important for the health of the channel. And let's get into it. Highest to Lowest is Spike Lee's latest joint from his fifth historical team up with fellow native New Yorker and film legend Denzel Washington. They previously did four movies together, starting with 1990's Mo Better Blues and the latest with 2006's Inside Man. So after a gap of time longer than the span of their previous working relationship, they came together for this action drama with perspective on life. Highest to Lowest is considered a remake of a famous Japanese filmmaker Kawasaki's 1963 film High and Low. However, High and Low was based off of the American novel The King's Ransom by Ed McBain, which is based in the fictional city of Isola, but which was clearly a stand-in for New York. So it's fitting how New York, both visually and culturally, are significant in this movie. Further, style and cultural connectivity were added to this film by going away from the protagonist whose son is kidnapped from ransom, it being a shoe industry mogul as in the book and Japanese film. Instead, here, Denzel Washington's character is a music industry mogul, allowing for the movie to connect culturally as well as stylistically, as New York is a soul and hip hop mecca. Spike Lee, being the son of a jazz musician who has also scored a number of his early films, has always tied music into his movies. Lee didn't lean in too heavily on jazz here, really, only in some early establishing scenes, which I think is good, as some of the 70s horn stylings of jazz can sometimes bring a melancholy feel to his films and a more drum and bass cultural backdrop. Aptly, in this film, that gives way to acoustic, soul, and hip hop music, as that's the kind of label that Denzel's character owns. And we get an appearance in the film from Ice Spice and ASAP Rocky, the first of which is just a cameo of an up and coming artist. Denzel, of course, does his thing. He pulls off being an older man, yet younger than he is. With this setup, the main plot in place, the intertwined secondary plot is well done, transitioning from the original's adaptation being about the protagonist orchestrating a shoe company takeover, to Denzel trying to thwart an investor takeover of his music company by buying back controlling shares, as he knows the venture capitalists are in it just to gut his life's work and license his legacy out to the highest bidder, taking away the soul of the music. This again ties things back to the culture, where we see in real life the legacy of Black cultural arts, most particularly music, but just in general in US culture as well, has been desecrated in recent years for untalented NPCs with microphones who have a look that the music and movie execs want to project, pumping out bland fodder that's surface level but no soul or cultural resonance behind it, which quite frankly makes Ice Spice's appearance in the movie ironic. I wonder if Apple Music or some other associated financier of the film has a relationship with her and required her appearance in the movie to try to get her acting career going. We know her music career isn't going very well lately. Anyway, she was fine for the 40 seconds on screen. Moving on. Jeffrey Wright was, of course, also excellent, and has the privilege of his real life son playing his son in the movie. When the kidnapping takes place and the ransom request is made, there is a misdirection that leads to setting up a dilemma that becomes the crux of the film. If you haven't read about the movie or the prior film and book, I suggest not to, as not knowing how this plays out is the better way of viewing the film. As these things are worked out and the assailants are pursued, the movie picks up more as the action ensues. The city of New York is further used as not just a backdrop in the pursuit, but a part of it. Spike Lee takes opportunity to team up with another classic veteran of his movies and tie back to the culture with music by using Puerto Rican Day celebration featuring fellow New Yorker and Do the Right Thing opening music scene dance sequence performer Rosie Perez as not only a well shot visual, but a part of the plot. The third act brings everything together, including a climactic standoff that again uses music, even Nas's lyrics, to make more cultural tie ins, but includes more action to properly conclude the issue. Then there's a nice musical piece in the prologue as we see the characters' arcs completed through the change in the character that often is missing from modern films. I can launch some criticisms around the way in which the super sophistication of the ransom drop off with its cloak and dagger runarounds doesn't match the idiocy and uncouthness of the mastermind, and how a couple of other things don't make a lot of sense. And that's why this is not a perfect film. However, this is a film worth a watch, now airing on Apple after its 9/5 streaming release, getting a 2-week theatrical run. However, I'm glad I saw it in the movie theaters and was able to support this kind of mid-budget filmmaking that holds to filmmaking quality points without cultural redesign agendas and with visual and stylistic character rather than another CGI monstrosity or bland, boring, straight-line filming. There was actually even a subplot that I thought I locked in on, where I was almost sure someone was involved in the kidnapping and it turned out that they weren't. I wonder if that was an intentional misdirection, and if it was, well done. Good story, well shot, well acted, with style and cultural resonance. That's highest to lowest. And I'm Lion Runner with reviews and revisits on Instagram and YouTube. On Instagram, again, that's reviews underscore and underscore revisits. Like, subscribe, notification bell, and consider checking out one of the other videos that just popped up if you enjoyed this one. Till next time.